Welcome everybody to a look at a new limited edition single disc release from Radiance Films, and it is 1957's A Vampiri, also known as The Vampires, The Devil's Commandment, and Lust of the Vampire, depending on which country you're watching it in. We're watching it at the time. So this is directed by Ricardo Frida, who also did Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster, The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock, which is behind me, and Murder Obsession. So this is a horror film clocking in at 82 minutes long, stars Gianna Marie Canali, who was in The Silent Enemy, and Carlo D'Angelo, who was in The Great Silence. So a mad scientist captures young women and drains their blood in order to keep alive an ancient, evil duchess. So this has an overall solid spin on the vampire lore, as instead of being based on the typical supernatural scenario, it is based on the scientific endeavour for eternal youth by using the blood of young women. Now, sure, there isn't much else that is original about this, but that premise is predominantly well executed, and the CinemaScope format looks great, especially also being in black and white, so it really does evoke the kind of old school Universal horror films of the time, of the 30s. It is also well paced, the cast is good, the plot is generally engrossing, and the finale is rather fun. So, yeah, overall a solid effort. Not remarkable in by any stretch of the imagination. I certainly did prefer the Doctor Horrible Hitchcock, or the Horrible Doctor Hitchcock even. But this is still a pretty solid effort in general. And yeah, it's nice to see another film from Ricardo Frida. So yeah, no, sorry, Radiance Films lately have been obviously doing a lot of films that have from directors that we've had films from before. We've had stuff from Damiano Damiani, we've had Truffaut, we've had it was Cato, yeah, as well as Elio Petri. We've got another one of his to look at later this in the future, because a new one of his has been released via Radiance Films. So yeah, it's really good that they're investing a lot of time and energy into the same kind of directors, because it means that we're getting to know these directors. I've never seen anything from this director for this film, or Elio Petri before, or Truffaut, or Kato, who did the Takahiro Lone Yakuza, and 8 Years in Prison and I the Executioner. So it's really cool that they're continuing to go in on these same directors, and they're not doing the same kind of things over and over again either, to be honest. So yeah, it's really cool. We also get a booklet with this, which aren't shots from the film, but they do look like they've been drawn, inspired by the film. So in the booklet, we've got cast and crew. Then we've got Do You Believe in Vampires from 2024 by Roberto Curti, and then transfer notes and credits. So we do have a brief amount of shots from the film inside. And yeah, about the transfer itself. Minor spoilers, and if you're creeped out by skeletons, then don't look now. And yeah, in terms of transfer notes, it was restored by Titanus Raycom in Italy. The film was supplied to Radiance Films as a high definition digital file. And then we've also got the alternate versions, because I said that this had multiple titles depending on where you were. So Lust of the Vampire version was scanned from a 1959 Eastman safety stock print courtesy of the BFI National Archive, and the material was transferred at Silver Salt Restoration. So Lust of the Vampire was the English form of this film, and then what is it? The Devil's Commandment was the US version of the film. So I only watched the Italian version. That's usually the way I go with these films. We also get reversible sleeve artwork. Not sure which one I prefer, to be honest. Oh, but we also do get another one as well, but I'm not sure how you'd put that in the case, to be honest. But then on the disc itself, as it says here, it's a 2K restoration of the film presented with Italian audio. And then we've got the alternate presentation of the UK cut, which was newly transferred for this release from archival materials courtesy of the BFI National Archive. Now that version is only 66 minutes long, so they've cut out a hell of a lot there to cut it down from 82 minutes. And then we've also got the alternate standard definition presentation of the US version, the Devil's Commandment cut, which was from 1960. So the UK version came out 2 years later, the US version came out 3 years later, and that's only 72 minutes long. So not quite as heavily cut as the UK version, but still another 10 minutes cut out. And yeah, I imagine it's a lot of the violence that is cut out of there. But we also have audio commentary by Tim Lucas from 2023. We've got Blood First, a featurette on the making of the film with Fabio Melelli, Mario Bava, and Dario Michaelis. He's another actor that was in the film, by the way. That's from 2020. That's from 2013, clocking in at 17 minutes long. Then we also have an interview with Lamberto Bava from 2022, clocking in at 15 minutes long. Then we have interview with Leon Hunt, author of Mario Bava, The Artisan as Italian Horror Auteur, from 2024, clocking in at 21 minutes long. Then we've got the Devil's Commandment trailer, optional English subtitles for Italian audio and English STH for English audio. And then we've got reversible sleeve featuring artwork based on original posters, and then the booklet that we've already talked about. So yeah, that's basically apparently the original poster, and so is that, I imagine, as well. Not sure about that one though, because considering there's no actual title on it, but who knows? You know, who knows? But still, an overall really rather in-depth release for a film that I've never heard of. Um, But obviously, you know, I've not heard of most of these Radiance films releases, so it's inevitable that there's going to be more release that I've never heard of before. But still, even though it's not my favourite film that Radiance films have released, not even my favourite film from the same director, it is still an enjoyable one, and it was fun to watch during the Halloween season. So yeah, it gets 3.5 out of 5 from me, but I can definitely see why people would like this more. Nonetheless, so if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.